No, I mean, that's what they like when you go on an international flight to Asia, you know how there'll be like 20 senior citizens?
Yeah.
They just all park all of them in the front and they just stare at each other.
Yeah, it looks like the return at Enterprise.
Yeah.
All right, can I tell you guys a story of something happened that on the flight when I went to visit Subin?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to see your opinion on how you feel about this type of thing. This 100% really happened. So me and Subin are in the terminal. I just finished visiting him for his military graduation, and
So this is on the way back.
on the way back, yeah, we're at Atlanta Airport. We're just waiting by the gate. We're on different planes. He's not on the same plane as me, but we're just chilling together while we wait for both of our flights. And then like on the side, you know when there's like people that are in wheelchairs, so they don't get in line. They wait on the side of the line, and then as soon as like it opens, they're usually the first to like get in.
Yeah.
So on the side of the line, there's these two women that are like my 600-pound life level fat.
Whoa, like
Gigantic, yeah. And they're
Wheelchairs were struggling.
yeah. And they're both in these wheelchairs, and they're waiting like right in front of where like the attendant would probably lift the rope up and they'd be the first to go. So me and Subin are sitting like directly in front of these people because we're also waiting in the chairs, just kind of, just chilling. And then they just start like getting pissed off. Like they were like, how could they just leave us here and just like drop us off here and just like nobody's here to like help us get on the plane. Like they were just like audibly pissed off and kind of like yelling. And they were just like, I'm going to write an email for sure. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to call the number. Like,
That's what they always do, though.
yeah, basically being Karens, right? Like,
No, I mean, that's what they like when you go on an international flight to Asia, you know how there'll be like 20 senior citizens?
yeah.
They just all park all of them in the front and they just stare at each other.
Yeah, it looks like the return at Enterprise.
Yeah.
But then we were just like, we didn't pay it any mind. We're like, okay, that's pretty funny. Like we also were too close to say something out loud because they're like within earshot. So we're just like, whatever. And then I get on the plane before them. Like they didn't get let on the way that like I thought they would. I thought they'd be first.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Everybody else was first. They were last.
Maybe they were too big to go first.
I thought for sure they were too
They
big.
don't go like that.
No.
That's what you say.
That's what you're saying? Are you making a joke?
Sometimes like they do this in Europe a lot too, right? You know when you're at like the front of the plane? In America, it's like I'm at the front of the plane. I board first, but it's actually really like inefficient.
Yeah.
So they actually board the ladder rows
You
first.
should be,
So
yeah.
if you're gonna be like a really, really large person who's gonna maybe be accommodated at the front of the plane, then yeah, you should board last, right?
here's the part.
Because then you're off first.
Here's the kicker that made no sense. So they're the last to go on, right? Everyone's on the plane already. And then you just start seeing those same two ladies at the front of the plane. Like I'm already sitting in my seat and they're just like, nobody's helping them get on.
What?
And they're just holding trying to go step by step, holding each seat going, ah, like screaming down the aisle because they're having such a hard time with their legs because they're so big.
Wait, are they so big that they couldn't fit through the aisle with a wheelchair?
Squeezing through. They have to touch every person.
Maybe that's why they had to get up.
They have to touch every person. Like
They're using their head as a fucking armrest.
they're using all the like headrests of the seats, and they're like barely. The progress is so slow, and they're screaming the whole way down. Their two seats are in the fucking back.
No.
Swear to God, dude.
And the whole way through, they're like using their hand and pressing your head like this. They're like
They
this.
might be rolling forearm first, you know what I mean? It's like Spirited Away.
They're like screaming in pain.
It covers their hand.
Everything kind of just...
Wait, how come they didn't board first?
I have no idea. This is on Delta. And then so they're like screaming at the back. The person announces, please do not record, have some respect, and please do not record them.
No.
I swear, yeah, just straight up as a courtesy, asking people to not record and not like make a spectacle by like looking.
Because we're hella people recording.
No one was recording at all. No one.
Let's not make
up.
a spectacle, but let's make a public
It was really,
announcement.
like everybody was like this. Everybody was like trying not to like, even be noticed because it was very clear that that they wanted to like ask for help from people. But because everyone knew how much of like they were kind of like assholes earlier,
No one wants to.
nobody wanted to be involved.
Oh,
Everyone was just kind of like this, like, oh fuck. And so they get to the back. One of them gets into her seat barely. She's like, and I'm across the aisle from one of them. like literally, and it feels like I'm sitting next to him.
So you were in the back too. So you just watched this whole thing, and it just kept on getting bigger and more in focus.
But then one of the second lady, her legs just completely like give out or fail.
No.
And she falls like a slow fall. She doesn't like go like this, but she just like kind of melts down into the aisle like floor screaming, and six people came, like actual EMT people or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't pick her up.
Well, yeah, she's probably like 700 pounds.
Because there's no room, and they couldn't and she was screaming the whole time, just like yelling at the top of her lungs.
What do they have to do? Like unbolt the chairs? Create space?
No, I don't know. So she was just laying there, and the flight got delayed almost an hour and a half.
So you were just there the whole time?
There on the tarmac, and I was giving Subin the play-by-play of everything that's happening. I was like, bro, this is what's happening right now. And so like they were trying to pick her up, and then I'm hearing the discussion from the pilot comes to the back, and he's like, we just got to get her off the plane. Like she's not going to be able to get in the seat.
So they split her up. One was able to leave. One
was able to stay. Well, what happened is they asked the other lady, they're like, do you want to stay or do you want to leave the plane? She's like, I'm staying.
I ain't going through all that shit.
So like the other lady, they're like siblings. They look exactly the same. And it's so like the pilot's like, yeah, we're just gonna have to like get him off the plane somehow. But I think like when they reconvene, because they're like having these meetings in the aisle in front of all of us, and then as they're talking about it, one of them is just like, it's just so much easier to try to get her from this spot onto the chair than it is all the way off the plane. So they tried to bring this like it's basically like a wheelchair thing that fits in the aisle of the plane. I've never seen it.
Like almost like a stretcher type situation?
Yeah, but it's a seat, and it like rolls.
It holds a bunch of food in it and drinks on it.
And duty free tobacco.
Yeah.
Basically like a rolling chair, and they were gonna get her on that, and then like wheel it out of the plane to get her out.
You know what's crazy? She's a endangerment to not only herself, but the other passengers. Because imagine when she's stuck in the middle of an aisle, if someone else had a heart attack, the EMT can't even get through them to help the person with the heart attack.
Yeah, but at the same time, imagine like somehow there's like a hole in the plane, there's like water leaking in, and then she just plugs it
with the forearm, with the elbow.
So she can't be a hero.
Like it's just circumstantial.
In a Looney Tunes cartoon.
If she can get there.
But you know how like if a door opens on accident, like the air just sucks all the people out? But if she's by the door, boom.
Yeah, it's vacuum sealed.
Yeah. And then she's a hero.
It raises the air pressure outside. Yeah, so they bring that seat that rolls all the way to the back.
What the fuck?
And I think they just, at that point, they were just kind of assessing it. So she's laying, like, there's a few times I went like that just to look, right?
Yeah.
She's laying on her stomach on the aisle, like, and just could not even move.
I mean, there's not that much space in between the aisle.
Dude, it's so tiny. And imagine a person who's probably like 600 pounds. Like,
So what happened? Her legs couldn't handle the pressure?
yeah, I think they're just,
So fat.
they clearly never walk anymore.
Yeah.
So because they were forced to have to like do these, like they look like the first time walking. That's why they were just holding every single thing and going, like the whole way down.
It's maxing out the whole time.
Yeah, she's walk maxing.
That's crazy.
Dude, I can't believe this situation.
Yeah, so like those six guys or whatever are talking about it. Eventually they managed to get her like up just enough to where at least most of her body is in the aisle of the row of the
When
seats.
she fell down though, did snacks fall out of like random parts of her clothing?
Dude,
Like two fucking ding dongs and a hostess.
it was literally like, look at it this way. This is a great way to say it. So it's almost 30 straight minutes from the front of the plane to the back of two people full on screaming.
Damn.
How long it took?
That's how long it took them to get to where she fell. And then that was even more
Full
screaming.
workout, dude. That's full workout.
That's what I'm saying. So like it's got to this point where like well, let me just finish what happened. So they basically were able to, I think it'd been like an hour 15. They were finally able to get her onto the chair. And then they were just like, okay, the pilot's like, I just got to go. I got to take off. These people have to do like the layover in Oakland. There's like a bunch of people needed to go to Oakland. They were all pissed off.
Bro.
So they eventually got her on there. You just hear her screaming the whole time, even after she's in the seat. We take off and everything. But the funny thing is like, man, it's gotten to that point actually where like this is so clearly like a horrifying situation, but everyone was acting like it wasn't happening.
Because they're like, we need to go.
Well, I know. I mean, the political correctness of like, oh, this is just a normal person trying to get on the plane. It's nothing crazy, you know.
That's how they were acting. Like,
yeah, like all the passengers, like nobody's going like, oh, like let me like acknowledge this and help you and figure something out with you or nothing.
what do you think would happen if I said, "Hurry up, Faso"?
You would have got standing ovation from the plane. I don't know. The pilot would have shaken your hand.
Because the policy might have been, or a better policy, maybe you gotta just let them sit in the front and board them first.
I think like it comes to that point where like it's like you probably at that point should buy a specific ticket
Like a double seater.
or like maybe you have to fly business.
Were they even those big business seats, like those slate?
Yeah, in the front. Yeah, not like with not like Singapore Airlines with a whole like cubicle.
Oh,
Big two seats, like 2 and 2.
Yeah, people that have like support animals and stuff. I've seen people say like their husky or their Great Danes are support animal, and the whole flight they're like this. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Imagine this fool like. Good thing that dog that was on my flight didn't cause no problems. Yeah. But imagine like 2 hours in, it takes a fat shit on the ground. You're like, fuck, dude. Like, where do we draw the line where a support animal is?
I know. It was just interesting to me, like the sociology of it when you're just watching people, kind of like no one wants to acknowledge that this is not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
dude. Usually, what they do is people that are disabled or like need wheelchair assistance. Them and children and like families with children, they go first. At least that's how Hawaiian Airlines always boards. They're like the elderly, all of them go first. Sometimes you see some big people because they need assistance. They're on a wheelchair. Yeah. But they should have boarded first or figured it out.
They should have boarded in the cargo area. I think.
They should have boarded the bottom. But then if they're that big, I'm thinking that they couldn't be wheelchaired in. Because they couldn't fit the aisle.
You think though, like if it took them 30 minutes of like and everybody's just trying to pretend like it's not, you think that 5 minutes into that, maybe there should have been like a reconvene?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like a flight attendant should have been like, actually.
Dude, they didn't say one word. That's why I was so surprised because it's that thing of like, oh, we don't want them to feel like they're different.
Yeah. So they just pretend like nothing's happening. This is all normal.
That's why it was 30 minutes from the front to the back because everyone's just like, boarding. That's all. Boarding.
Oh, I thought everyone was just like, stop lying, bitch.
That would be better.
I thought that's what they're acting like. They're like, just hurry up. Like
everybody was like clearly like, and then the fact that they have to say on the thing, please do not record any of this with your
feel
phones.
Like that's the part where like the line was like the wall was broken. You might as well let loose there because it'd be like, hey, everybody, don't acknowledge it via this public announcement of acknowledgement. It's like the stupidest thing ever, number one.
But he was recording. It was like a preemptive, like, hey, if you're thinking about it, don't do it.
It's even worse, by the way.
Because nobody was doing it. I was waiting for one person to do it so I could. Nobody did it. I was like, all right.
Was that a flight from Atlanta to Vegas?
Atlanta to Vegas, yeah.
Do you think they're going home or do you think they were going on a vacation?
I don't know, man. But they were like, so this wasn't like, they didn't look like, if I describe them right, they didn't look like poor, slovenly, like big, depressed people. They were like mega decked out. They both had blonde cornrows, and they were like
rich.
They didn't. I don't know about rich, but they looked like hood rich. You know, they look like
they enjoy themselves.
Yeah, they looked like they had style. You know. But then they were just fucking 600 pounds, you know?
When I watched that show, though, like how much money they get on like disability and all these other things, I was like, man, you spent all that shit on food, though. Like, they spend hella money on food. So I'm like, what else are they doing?
That one person from that show also just passed away.
A lot of them passed away.
Like yesterday or 2 days ago. She's like 30 years old.
What do you guys think is like the protocol? Because clearly they didn't have like a set protocol. I watched this thing unfold in real time and I'm like, you guys don't have something you do for this.
I think it should be like a roller coaster ride where there's a fucking weight and height limit.
Yeah, there's like so many things you gotta juggle. You gotta juggle like operational protocol, but then also like PR and then like humanity, so you don't fucking get sued and shit.
Right, yeah.
Because I think to me, I'm Chinese, so I'm just very logical. I'm like, throw motherfuckers in the cargo, give them some oxygen tanks, they'll be fine.
I mean, think about it like this. oversized cargo comes out of a different bin at baggage claim for a reason too.
And you got to pay extra if it goes over 50 pounds.
Yeah, like things operationally, when there's no emotions involved on the equipment, things happen a certain way because that makes the most sense for efficiency, for optimization, and just it's the right way to go about it. So like same thing, if you're like a 600-pound person, you're not normal. You're not a whack person. You're just not a normal one on the average scale. So you have to have different like procedures to even be beneficial for you. That's a fucking fire hazard.
And the other thing is operational procedures, they got to be scalable too. So they're lucky there's only 2 of these chicks. Because if you're buying tickets online and they're being like blind and fair, right? They don't know how much everyone weighs.
Yeah.
What if there was 30 of these bitches that are trying to get on the airplane?
Yup.
Then what do?
They're all auditioning for the next season.
You know what I mean?
Because you know how both of them were in the back of the plane? So when we were taking off, hella people were like...
That's crazy.
But they do weigh the plane though. Like that's a thing. Like when you're on a small plane like a Cessna, they have to calculate weight.
God, them on a Cessna?
Because 600, that's 3 200-pound dudes sitting on top of each other.
I'm not good with like estimating weight, but they look like the people from TV shows. I don't know if it's exactly 600 pounds, but they look like fucking celebrities from that show.
At least 400.
Yeah, they got to at least be 400.
What I don't think is fair is because I have to pay for my fucking extra carry-on, which is like less than 40 pounds. And then they're like times 3 a human being.
You know what the fairest way? You got to do it like fucking Mongolian barbecue style. You pack your styrofoam the way you want, but they're going to get weighed at the end. So you come with your luggage, whatever, you and all your shit, whatever you weigh, that's the percentage of your flight. So if you want to spend more of your weight on your body,
Okay.
you better not carry no shit. But
Yeah,
if you're
but-
only 100 pounds, go ahead and bring the piano on.
Same with the carry-on luggage. I kind of agree with that, but the same with the carry-on luggage, right? You still got to take the carry-on and can it fit in this little frame? Because
Yeah,
then
that's true.
if you're like, nah, I'm not bringing any luggage, it's all on my body, but you can't fit in the seat.
Yeah.
Somebody else is fucked.
Weight and surface area consideration.
Wasn't that one fat girl talking about like how airlines need to make chairs?
And to make the plane bigger.
Yeah. And then the seatbelt like bigger and all that.
Everything bigger, yeah. Basically accommodate her, situation.
And I ain't mad at that. I think there can be accommodations, but like if there's a market for it, there's a market for it,
Seatbelt extender, they have that, right?
Yeah, I've seen people use it.
If everybody's like, mad obese and like do a obese flight company.
Yeah, yeah.
Like create a whole different like fat airlines or whatever it is.
That's true.
Be comfortable.
At airlines, oh, Anthony.
You should call it low altitude. Dude, that's fucked up. Anthony fucked up.
What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know how this social situation can be better solved than, the idiots in this room thinking of a solution. Thanks, guys.